St. John. Allison McCoy from Calgary. Good athletic genes. Her dad was an Olympic runner. She'll have lane number 0, 22 years of age. Trains at the University of Calgary with Mike Blondell. 100% turnover in this field from 2016. Not one of these women was in the race in the finals in 2016 at the Olympic trials. There's lane number 4. You got Emily Overholt, 5th at the Olympic Games in the 400-meter individual medley. And next to her, Emma O'Cronin will have lane number 5. There's Emma right there, the Edmonton Keano Swim Club out of Edmonton. That's the site of the night I was talking earlier about games being so important. That was the site of the Commonwealth Games and the World Student Games back in '78. And a little bit later for the World Student Games. And they've got a powerful club there, the Edmonton Keanos.
Take your marks.
Women's 400 free is in the water. 10 swimmers, 8 lengths of the pool. And Katerina Bellio is in 6. Emma O'Cronin in 5. Emily Overholt is in 4. The Rio Olympian and the Pan Am champion, as you mentioned, Byron, in this pool. There's certainly a comfort level for most of the swimmers in this pool.
Well, and I should mention that story about Emily Overholt. Again, it's lane 4 from the bottom. And Emily was disqualified in her best event, the 400-meter individual medley, at the Pan Am Games for an illegal touch, which was pretty questionable at the time. And devastated, of course, and then came back literally the next day in a race she wasn't favored to win in lane number 1 and upset the entire field and won the gold medal. So it was a really heroic performance by Emily Overholt. And at the Olympic Games, when she finished 5th, she actually had an injured leg and was still able to overcome that. So it looks like we've had real separation here from lane 0, 1, and 2 at the bottom, and then everybody else is still in the race.
Ali Ackman with a slight lead at the turn of 100 meters.
And Overholt in a good position at 2nd. This is an 8-lap race, so the person that's leading at the first quarter mark, the first 2 laps, isn't necessarily the one that's always going to win. You've got to pace your move properly. You've got to know when to make your move on the rest of the field. Ackman trying to get that extra excitement about being in front, and then she'll just simply try to hang on in the last 100 meters.
So Ackman will touch first again here, it looks like, as she tries to keep this pace up. And over her right shoulder is Emily Overholt. Looks like she's in 2nd place, followed by Emma O'Cronin.
So now the swimmers have got to start to jockey for position. This is a good swim for Overholt. She's in a position that she needs to be in right now, right on Ackman's shoulder, trying to stay very, very confident what she needs to do. I would also argue that Katerina Bellio looks like she's making a nice move in 6. That's 4 from the top. 4-woman race at this point.
Ackman, Overholt, and O'Cronin are pretty close to each other, and then Bellio is still there in 4th place.
I should mention very briefly that a young 14-year-old named Summer McIntosh posted a world-class time in this event 3 weeks ago. That will count towards her selection if 2 people in this race do not make the qualifying time. So we'll take a look at that when they come to the end. It's 4:07.9. So if 2 women don't make that, the selection committee is allowed to pick that young 14-year-old. I think she's not in this race, Rob, because it's a bit of load management by her coach, and she's got other races after this. So it'll be interesting to see if these swimmers can get to that time or not.
Indeed, she's got a busy week ahead. It is still Ali Ackman, who is back from retirement, in the lead, as she gets close to touching for 600 meters of this, or at least 300 meters for this 400-meter race. And Ackman just slightly ahead of O'Cronin, who's now pushing in lane number 5. And it is Overholt in between them, but it is still Ali Ackman, who has a personal best of 4:11.08.
She's going to be way under that. She looks excellent at this point, all right? Overholt's got to reach a bit deeper now. They kind of left her in the dust there going into the 300. Overholt back in 3rd spot. She's going to have to come up with an awfully big effort coming now. O'Cronin made a great move on the 3rd 100, but now all of a sudden she's starting to labor. This is very interesting to see where they're at. Ackman may be able to steal this from gun to gun, wire to wire.
Less than 50 meters to go. Ali Ackman, who's back from retirement, is pushing hard here, trying to get a spot, trying to get nominated for the Olympic team. And let's see what her time is at 3:55.9. still leading. Overholt is battling for second place along with O'Kroinen, and then pushing up is Bellio. And here they come to the wall. It is Ackman who's going to take it in 4:10.92. And then Overholt was second in 4:11.91, followed by O'Kroinen, the World Junior silver medalist, in 4:12.10.
So that's a look of question, and what I mean by that is that's a great time. It's a best time, but I think she thought she was going faster because she was winning. These other women in the field have been 4:07, 4:0 in the 4:08 range, and they were 2 or 3 seconds off their best times. So Ali was kind of a false sense of security, thinking I'm beating the others, I must be going the standard at 4:07, and unfortunately everybody was a little bit off. So you've got a disappointment, I think, by and large, by almost everybody in that race. They're a little bit off their best times. Allison rises to the challenge. I love the fact she came out of retirement and tried to give it a go, and just fell a little bit short of that standard by a few seconds.